Hey guys, it's your boy the Maths Don here. Just here to give you guys lessons from the lessons I have gained as a tutor and a student, And yeah, the topic for this one is like just the concept of when students say like I'm not smart enough, or they keep comparing themselves to other students. Oh, that student can do it. I can't. I don't know why. And sometimes that kind of mentality is just the wrong way to think about things. Because I had a student like that once, and that was the first thing that I had to say to her. I was like, you can't think that way. Now, it's okay to look at someone else getting a good grade and say, oh, I want to get a good grade like that person. That's okay. There's no problem with saying that. But it becomes a problem when you start using another person's success to beat yourself down. Like, oh, he's got a good grade. He's so smart. Oh, she's so smart. How can I be? That's not what you should be worrying about. Because what you're taking the time to worry about is that person's greatness or how good they are. Usually the reason why that person is better at the moment is because they've taken the time to master their own mind so they know how it works. And so if they know how it works, they know how to get the best out of it. So the question for you is, have you mastered your own mind? And also at the same time, what do you want? Are you saying that person is smart because they got a 9? Or an 8 or a 7 or an A star or an A in a test? Do you want an A in a test? If you do, then put in A type of work. Now, that's another thing. Don't compare your work to anybody else's because your minds are not the same. So you might have to put in 2 hours, another person might have to put in 4 hours, another person might put in 30 minutes. Doesn't matter. It's about what you want. So if you want a 9 grade or an 8 grade or a 7 grade, the question for you should be, what do I have to put in to get that? Not, oh, that person is putting in an hour. Oh, I put in an hour and I didn't get the grade. No. It's the question of understanding your own mind and yourself again. So how much do I have to put in to get what I want? Not what somebody else is putting in. Oh, they only put in 2 hours and they got the grade they wanted. Are you them? This is just a fact you have to take to heart. Every human being is designed uniquely. So to compare yourself to anyone is to disrespect yourself. Once again, you can admire someone. You can look at the qualities they have and say, oh, I want that quality in my life. That's great. Or I want that grade, or I want that thing. But then you have to sit down and put the work in on yourself. What do I need to do to get the grade I want? But comparing yourself is not the answer, especially on a consistent basis. Because what's going to happen is you're eventually going to start whipping yourself down with another person's success. Now, if you're looking at a person and saying, oh, they're so smart, like I said, if you've asked yourself, do you want what they have? If they're getting an A grade, if they're getting an A star grade, do you want that? If the answer is yes, then that's your friend group. The next step is, okay, if I want that, then okay, speak to them. What are they doing? If you don't want to speak, watch. If you don't want to watch, there are older people who know how that grade is, you can get that grade. There are teachers. Okay, people who have been there. So if that's the grade you want, then how do I get there? What do I need to do? But the mistake you cannot make is to sit down and just say that thing and just beat yourself over the head with that thing. With, oh, they're so smart. Maybe that's why I don't get it, because I'm not smart enough. What? No. Now, it's all about what you want once again. If you want a grade 4 or a 5 or a 6 or a 7 or an 8 or a 9, that's your business. It's what you want. Okay? I'm not talking about what daddy wants, what mommy wants, what anybody else wants, what the teacher wants from you, what you want for yourself. But once you figure that out, then you go about the business of figuring out how to get it. But what you cannot do is consistently beat yourself up, comparing yourself to others. Okay? Because it's still the business of all of you getting the same amount of work. Okay? So you go to class, the teacher teaches, you have the scheme, you have the textbooks. Okay? You can speak to your parents about tutors. Even if you can't get a tutor, you have a teacher. And as a matter of fact, teachers are so helpful when they see that you're putting in effort. It makes them look good. If a teacher has a student they're investing time in, and they feel like, oh my God, this student might just jump from a 5 to a 7, or from a 7 to an 8, or from a 6 to an 8 type of student in terms of grades, they'll be willing to help. Okay? But don't get into the business of comparing yourself to anyone else for the purpose of beating yourself down or telling yourself you can't get far. Especially not at that age. Because I just think that's way too young. In the real world, I still don't like it. But at 10, 12, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16 years old, that's too early for you in life to literally go, oh, can't get far. I'm not smart enough. Nah, you still got time. You still got time. You're in school. That's the time to literally understand your own mind, figure out what works. You have an opportunity to work on your mind. Figure out what it is that works well for your mind, what doesn't work well. Because people this is a stage where you figure out whether you learn better by listening to things or by watching people do it. That sort of thing. That's where you are. So for you, my youngins, you can't give up now. You can't just give up and just go, oh my God, they're just so much better than me. That's why I can't get what I want. No. They're getting a grade that you want for yourself. You sit down and go, do I really want that grade, or do I like what's around the grade? If you go, I really want that grade, then okay, sit down and get to it. What do I need to do? How many hours do I need to study? Who do I need to speak to help me to get better? What do I need to get better on? Okay? It's simply a how do I get better game. And once you understand how your mind works and what works best for you, you'll be able to get the best out of yourself. You'll even know if you write a test, you'll get so good when you understand your own self and mind, you can know before the test result comes out what you think your grade is going to be. Because you can understand yourself that well when you take the time to work on yourself. And you might ask, where do I get the time from? Well, the time you take in beating yourself over the head with someone else's good work Take that time to look inward. Okay? And if you do that, then that's where the time comes from. Okay? And you'll definitely find it. And slowly but surely, you'll figure out that, yeah, I'm not dumb. I'm smart enough. And then it's just a question of going, if I'm smart enough, do I put this on paper or do I just know it inside? Because at the end of the day, that's all a test and exam says. Putting your smarts to paper. Okay? Because that's all a test and exam does for you. You can say you're smart at that age. You can say, oh, I'm smart on this. It's an exam paper at that stage that literally puts a stamp on it, or a test paper. When you get that grade, like, oh, I knew I was smart. I put in the work and look at that. Okay? Please, please, please. Don't ever compare yourself to anybody to beat yourself down. And don't let anyone else ever do it to you. That's the other important part. Don't let anyone else ever do it to you. Or compare you to someone else. Oh, you should be like that person. You will never be like that person. Because you were born uniquely. You're designed uniquely. And the moment you start trying to be like someone else, your uniqueness is gone. Now be careful now. There's a difference. You can get better by looking at someone else. But you can't become someone else. You can say, oh, I like the way that person studies. I want to study like that. Or they study for 2 hours. Oh, I want to learn how to study for 2 hours. That's different from trying to become someone else. So don't ever beat yourself down with any other student's success. If you like what grade they're getting, how they're doing in the tests, ask them. If you can't ask them, ask a teacher. If you can't ask a teacher, get a tutor, ask a tutor. One of those three will know. Okay? This is school. A teacher, a tutor, the person who's getting the grade, they know. Especially the teacher of that specific subject. In my case, math. If you ask me, I can tell you. But you'll have to wait for another installation of this to get the lowdown on that. Okay? No start, no middle, no end. So, have a good day. You've been listening to the Math Don, giving his lessons from Lessons Learned.